Mic check, 1 2 1 2, y'all. I said, mic check, 1 2 1 2 on this day that's named after the planet Mars, which you call Tuesday. Mic check, 1 2, man. We dropping it. The firmament. That's what we talking about today. Bible deconstruction, cause I know they ain't taught you nothing about the Bible. So today, class, boys and girls, gather around. We're going to teach you about the firmament today. We're going to learn about what the firmament is and how it operates. And it's going to be a good lesson for you. Get on up in here. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. And we here to see another day. I got the dashiki on. Appreciate your Mama Isis. And it's blue and yellow. And it just so happened we going to talk about the firmament today. Ain't that something? Also, we're going to talk about energy manipulation before I get into the lesson on the firmament, because I know the people that's in here now is the people that been rocking with me for a minute. So let me give something to the people that been rocking, make sure we get this download. And this is energy manipulation, how to manipulate energy. It's for the people that been with me for a minute. Appreciate you rocking. So I got some news you can use. Appreciate y'all being up in here. Energy manipulation. Energy in and of itself is not good or bad, family. It's just energy. But how to manipulate it, I've found through experience that it's best to be for something, to use energy to be for something than against it. I found that it takes a lot more energy to be against something than for it. And the energy that's put towards being against something doesn't go as far as the energy that's put towards being for something. I'm going to give you an example. Do you remember for a time they had this protest going on? Defund the police. Defund the police. Y'all remember that? And a lot of these protests are intentionally, somebody's in the back and they guide these protests to be against certain things. This is how the energy is presented. We're against this or that or whatever it is that they protest. And then in the process, they have to always promote the very thing that they're against. But the sentiment should never have been against funding for the police, because that's not the proper way to use energy. And when you see people use their energy against something, what you're seeing is a person that's not really aware yet of how to manipulate energy. The problem is we have people in positions of power, influence, and authority that do not know how to properly use energy. So they always come out against things. So it wasn't that it was defund the police. The energy should have been put towards funding community programs. Refund the community. The energy is not towards defunding the police. The energy should be put forth refunding the community, meaning there are a lot of community outreach programs in these communities that are independently run, not state funded, that need funding, that need recognition. Because is it better to police a problem or eliminate it at its source? Well, the community outreach programs that need funding, they eliminate need for policing because it eliminates the creation of criminality, because they're doing conflict resolution. They're educating people in the community about the local political process and how to affect your day-to-day lives through knowing who your local politicians are. And these programs that provide this type of education and services need funding. People need to be made aware of their existence. So the energy should be put forth agitating for the awareness of the existence of these programs and their benefit, not defunding the police because they came across as toxic, acidic, divisional. It was divisive. But what I'm telling you is the people behind the scenes pulling the strings are intentionally promoting this negative energy. And so I put the energy towards once waking up and coming into some maturity and mature desires. It's not about me giving. The protest is like I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind. I'm gonna point this out to them and I'm gonna make them aware. But where the effectiveness in your energy comes from reform, things being reformed and implemented, solutions. So the energy should be put towards the solution, not the opposition to the problem. So we're talking about energy manipulation before we get into this firmament, but all of this is coming from the firmament. We just have to understand what the word firmament means. It means firm mind. The clue to that is mint. The firmament. The clue to what it means is a firm mind, because we know we have words like entertainment. Entertainment, to help you understand what entertainment really is let me hit you with the word detainment. You know, if you get stopped by the police and you ask him, am I being detained? Before you reach the point of detainment, first you was entertaining this officer. And because you entertain him, you probably going to end up being detained. Because the solution was to not entertain him at all. But you went to entertaining him, and in the process of entertaining him, he was able to bind you and hold you in place, which means detain. See, entertain means to hold in place. So to hold the mind in place. So they give you entertainment to hold your mind in place. For what purpose? To program it. That's why it's called programming. And to advertise to it, to get you to think a certain way, move a certain way, believe a certain way. In order to do this and put this into your mind, they first must hold it steady. Because, you know, the mind, we go to thinking this, that, and the third. So they got to get your attention, and they get your attention by way of what's called entertainment, which is to hold the mind. Am I free to go? Well, long as you in entertainment, long as you're in the entertainment phase, you have the option to leave. But once that entertainment grab you and you find yourself stuck there and just mindlessly not even paying attention to the commercials, what's going on, to the program that was holding you in place come back on, you have in fact been detained. You can't leave. But it's by your own volition, but they was able to get you through what's called entertainment. Now, the next clue is this word called government. Now, if entertainment is to hold the mind in place, government is to control the mind. So when we deal with the kingdom of heaven, as the religious people term it, we dealing with my family tree. We have an order of things, what we would call what governs our mind. Well, in the kingdom, the government, what governs our mind is the light, the greater light that was placed in the firmament. That's our governor. That's our government. We're going to talk about how the light is the baby boy too, because a lot of us don't understand when God said, let there be light. This is the first of the creation as far as we are concerned, mankind and the heavens and the earth is concerned. But as far as the kingdom goes, that's the baby boy. That's baby boy there. But we're going to get to that in a minute. So government is mind control. But either you got the greater light that governs the day, either that's what governs your mind, or you have the so-called powers that be. They govern your mind. And they govern your mind through spells, spelling, capital and lowercase letters, entertainment. This is how they control your mind. Government. Because that may be the government you are under. The government of man. And the participation in their systems, which is mind control. But before you got to all of their entertainments and detainments and governments, guess what? You had a firmament. It's the mind, our mind, your mind and mine. The clue is we develop head first. Do we not develop head first in the womb? That means we develop brain first. Symbolically understand that we are spiritual creatures, so we develop mind first. And the brain is just a physical house for the mind. But the mind can't be seen, touched, taste, smell, or heard, only experience. Now we're getting into the mysteries, because some of you not going to be able to accept or believe what I'm saying because it is a mystery. It is my story. Death, burial, and resurrection. Somebody that realized that they fell and are in the process of getting back up. And in this process have realized the eternal love of the Most High God. And you're not going to be able to accept my story, this mystery, because it's ineffable. And it's inexpressible. I can talk until I'm blue in the face, but some things you're not going to be able to understand until you experience it for yourself. But for those that can accept it and receive the testimony that is true, because I've experienced it and lived through it, and I did develop head first and was given a glimpse back into some lives that I've lived. And I'm thankful for the strength to be able to see it. The veil is there for a reason. Sometimes we just can't see, we can't take what's behind that veil. So it's there to protect you until your mind is strong enough to look at it and not break. So we develop head first, firmament. Now let's look at this thing, y'all, in this book that you call the Bible. Let's look at it. And let's look at what's being described, because the people that taught you this book more than likely taught you that the firmament was the creation of the sky in their ignorance. And if they taught you that the firmament is the sky, they were ignorant of what's in this book and what's being described to you, and should not have been sitting in front of you teaching you nothing. But hey, let's go and look at the development, your creation, our creation, spiritually from the perspective of the kingdom. If we look at creation from the perspective of the kingdom, we must understand and accept that the kingdom already exists and has been in existence. And there is no way to record the length of time that the kingdom has been in existence. That's why it's called eternal. The creation takes place from the kingdom, the creation of heaven, the heavens and the earth. All reality, time is from the kingdom, which is placed within you. Let's get this understood where the starting point is. We're starting from the kingdom. And if we already got a kingdom, and we know a kingdom not only consists, the foundation of any kingdom is a family. Well, a huge big kingdom consists of many families, all coming together and subservient to one family. This is how we rocking. This is how kingdoms operate, true or false. All right. We talking about the family tree now and how we develop, how we rock. We come head first. It's how we develop in the kingdom. We already got this kingdom, but at some point in this kingdom, there was a rebellion due to some plans being made in the kingdom to create the heavens and the earth. This plan caused a rebellion in the kingdom. The main messenger of the family that brought out the messages from the family, who we would consider the high priest, rebelled. When he got the message about the creation of the heavens and the earth and man being in control, according to the story, this messenger, this high priest, rebelled. He didn't want to play his part. And it was some that was in the kingdom that agreed with him. So we in the kingdom, and we dealing with spirits though. We ain't dealing with nothing physical. There's nothing physical in existence. We just using the term kingdom to describe the phenomenon. But we ain't dealing with nothing we can see, touch, taste, or smell as far as the creation narrative goes. It ain't came yet. We talking about the rebellion, the war that took place before creation. It's the reason for the firmament being created in our creation. All right, so once we got this rebellion then kicked off and we got some separation going on, this high priest needs to be replaced. He got a special job. His job, this high priest job in the kingdom, he gonna collect praise. His job is to collect the praise of the king, and all the prayers and the supplications and the praise and the glory that they give to the king. His job is to go get it and collect it and bring it back. And we can't send the oldest boys because they ain't gonna act right. That's what the problem is. They not gonna act right. You gotta be humble and meek. You can't want none of it for yourself. None. You can't want none of this. See, the plan is, I'm going to create the heavens and the earth. I'm going to create mankind. I'm going to give them authority, dominion, and rule. I'm going to give them control. I'm going to give them what they say goes. Everything in it is theirs except my praise. It's the only part that's mine that I want is my praise. My glory, but it's realized through what we call immortality. It's how you realize the power in the awesomeness and the love of God when we realize our immortality. So the one that make you immortal, that resurrect you, that take the praise and is the intercessor, is the baby boy. Let there be light. We already got subjects in the kingdom. We coming from the kingdom. But the last one that's going to be born is going to be the first one among the creation of us. Let there be light. That's the baby boy in the kingdom. But the first one for us, is this not the first of God's creation? First thing God spoke with, let there be light. Well, book of Revelation in chapter 12 tell you about who and what that light is. That's how the soul, the light of the soul. This is gonna be the greater light that governs the day, but he just a baby right now, and he gonna get snatched up to God and his throne. So you see God separate the light from the darkness. Give me my baby boy. He just a baby. I can't send him yet. I can't give him to y'all yet. He haven't been weaned. So he got to sit up on the Mother Nature. He got to crawl for a while before he can walk upright. In the meantime, though, because this is our creation, is this not the creation narrative? Okay, well, who's being created? Us. That's everything that's being created is being created for us, for our manifestation. True or false? Okay, so the light was made for who? Baby boy is given for who? Because this going to be the greater light that governs the day. Matter of fact, God called the light good and called the light day, and God separated that. and there was evening and there was morning. The first day, the darkness is called night. No judgment on the darkness yet. It's just called night. Also, this first day is outside of what we call space and time, because it cannot be measured. We measuring, when we reach this level of understanding, we measure what we do by degrees. We measure what we do by whether it's complete or not. What we set out to do, is it complete? Because we're dealing with 360 degrees from the starting point of whatever it is you set out to do. Because we're outside of time, so we measure things by their completion. So we called it a day when we separated the light from the darkness, and we had the understanding that everything's been clearly defined, what's what and who's who. That was the mission for the day. That's all we was trying to do, was figure out who's who, what's what, and separate those sides. Once we done that, we called that a day. But because we just dealing with a process here and not a system of measurement, ain't no sun, because we measure time by the rising and setting of the sun, which is a metaphor for going beyond the sun. Ain't no sun yet, but you do got the light, the baby boy. But you don't know that's the sun yet. But this the sun that don't never set. So you don't see, we don't taste death by way of this light. We just kind of shift or keep going. You may not believe this, but at the point, the death don't have no sting. You gonna keep right on going, either into a new body or right from a parallel point from where you left from, as if you never went away. You just gonna think you survived that accident. And it's going to be the pride in us that's going to make us believe we survived the accident, because, you know, we so special and we so good. But there's another parallel reality that's just as real. You didn't survive it. And the existence that we in now is due to the grace and mercy of our Creator. And what we're experiencing is a type of resurrection, a taste of our immortality. And when we come into the realization of that, we'll have a whole new mission on this earth, because we'll be so in appreciation and awe of this free gift called life. All we're going to want to do is love and spread love. And like, hey, man, you really ain't got no reason to be tripping at all. Don't you know we immortal? But, you know, until you believe and accept the testimony, we'll just go line by line, precept on precept. Okay, so we got the light, and it's alive. See, everything God speaks is a message, and a messenger brings the message. And the message is light, and it's alive, and life and goodness, and all of these things are in the light. And the light is going to be divided and dispersed among us. But check it out. We talking about the firmament. Now we finna get. So we in the first day. And the first day cannot be measured in what we call time, because there ain't no sun to measure time. So this separation, this identification, the birth process of the light and the separation of it from darkness, is no telling how long that took. There's literally no way to measure. That means we are outside of time. That means your creation process, my creation process, begins outside of time. We are ancient beings. Let's get this understood. We talking about creation, right? Just making sure that's where we at. And God's, okay, now the waters. Let's make sure we understand the waters. Waters are peoples, nations, and tongues symbolically. It's what the book of Revelation say. The whore that's sitting on many waters, when she break it down, she show them that the waters are peoples, nations, and tongues. Now we in the spiritual realm, and I just said that everything took place from the kingdom. And the kingdom consists of what? The foundation, the cornerstone, is the family. Father, mother, and child is the cornerstone of the kingdom. They're your Trinity. But a kingdom consists of many families. So among these angelic beings in this kingdom, there are rankings, different divisions. That's all existing in this kingdom. And you know, the spirit of hate can't coexist with the spirit of love, and the spirit of chaos cannot coexist with the spirit of order. So they got to be separated, identified, and separated. So that's what's going on. This darkness that's observed over the face of the waters, that means there's a war in heaven. There's some chaos and some ignorance and confusion, because we just said it ain't nothing you can see, touch, taste, smell, or hear yet. That include the darkness. We're not talking about physical darkness. We're talking about what you would call spiritual darkness over the face of these angelic beings, the war in heaven. So, baby boy come through, because this who gonna be my new high priest in my kingdom, my baby boy, when he's weaned. So how long is it until a baby's weaned? 3.5, 4 years. So you're going to see what happened at 3.5 or the fourth day in this creation narrative. Baby boy is going to get sent. Him, not just him, but him and his brothers and sisters, lights. They're going to be sent, and they're going to be reflected through what you call the sun and the constellation and his constellations. But we ain't got there yet. I said we talking about the firmament today, man. So let me explain that the firmament, the creation of this firmament, is your mind. You see this light? It's not a physical light. This light is created to be the light of your mind. This light is created to make your light, your mind, firm. So let me show you what I mean. And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water, not H2O. Angelic beings that's at war are being separated. Those that's in the king's dome from those that's outside of the king's dome. And let me show you something. Hold on. I like the King James. I like the King James. Rest in peace to my granddad, Cornelius Rollins. Rest in peace. And I'm just trying to help y'all understand that these people haven't taught y'all the book. They was teaching you about a person, a character. But they didn't teach you. Jesus taught about the kingdom. Jesus didn't teach you about himself. You haven't learned about the kingdom. You've been learning about Jesus. And that's well and good, okay. But do you know about the kingdom? So that's what we finna help you understand. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. There we go. Oh, they play too much with these translations. Christians, which translation is the right translation? Is it the New King James Version? Is it the old King James Version? What about the New International Version? New Living? Which version is the right version of your book? Why we got to go through this to get to the nitty gritty of it with all of these? Beware the lying pen of the scribes. I just have to throw that in there. Because see, this New International Version right here, it says, let there be an expanse. Y'all see that? Well, you ain't gonna get no understanding with these scribes playing with these words. Ain't gonna tell my people it's an expanse. Nah, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. The angelic beings that's in the kingdom from the ones that's in the darkness or below the kingdom. That's what the purpose of the firmament is. To divide the spirit, the spiritual realm from the physical realm. That's what's going on here, y'all. The creation of your mind and the purpose of it. Check it out. And God made the firmament Who made the firmament? God made the firmament. Your mind is the creation of the Most High God. Understand that. And divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. Ooh, heaven is a state of mind. It's a place where the division take place. But you notice something about the creation of heaven. Hold on. In the evening, in the morning, were the second day. It's not called good. The light is called good. The light is called good. And that's it. The darkness is called night. The firmament has a purpose. It's to separate waters. It is not called good. Why? Because the mind ain't good in and of itself by itself. It got to be something on your mind, placed in your mind to make it good. In and of itself is just the point of separation. The physical from the spiritual. The above from the below. That's it. Now, because we dealing with the sons of God, they said war is not called a good day because this is the day I have to separate my sons, and this is eternal separation. It's something that's going to have to be from now on. It's how it's going to have to go down. So, why it ain't called good? Because ain't nothing good in it yet. We're going to get something good in it on the fourth day. Hold on. Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. See, you are the light of the world. Well, we're not talking about like light that's coming out light bulb in the ceiling. We're talking about light that's coming out this ceiling. Is the light of the world. See that first light? Let there be light, and there was light, and God saw that the light was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. All right, now this light that was divided from the darkness and called good is being now placed in the firmament to do what? To divide the day from the night, which is to say to divide the light from the darkness. So they're going to do God's work. It's their purpose in the firmament to do the work of God. And where do they do it from? The firmament. We talking about the creation of the mind. See, everything is to be understood from the inside out because we understand things in order from the kingdom's perspective. And the kingdom is within you. So we apply information inside and then out. We're talking about the creation of the mind here. Before you existed physically, you existed in the mind of the Most High God. And to imitate that, you come through mind first. But we got to make your mind good. First, we must establish it as a separation point. And then we're going to make your mind good. We're going to show you what make your mind good. So you won't think it's just because it's your awesome, wonderful personality. It's the light of the Most High God. So he say, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light. And it was so. And God made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day. And the lesser light to rule the night. And if the greater light is to rule the day, that means the greater light governs the day. The greater light is given control of the day, of the light. So the greater light is in charge of all the other lights. The greater light houses all the other lights. Just as the sign, the constellation Aries houses the sun, but and a lesser light to govern the night. What is the lesser light that governs the night? What is the night? Darkness. Okay. And if you got rule for the day and rule for the night, and the rule mean to govern, so we got a prince of the day and we got a prince of darkness. Who is the prince of darkness? Well, he's been given control of the night, of the darkness, of death. He's the governor of the dead. So you got one that is the ruler, because everything that's in the light, the light never sets. Here's your immortality, because it's placed in your mind. It's placed in the firmament. I know you went back to the earth. We still in the mind, man. Come back up with me. The life is in the light. That's where the life is. And all of this is placed where? Where is the light? If life is in the light, boys and girls, where is the light put? In the firmament, right? And if we saying that the creation of the firmament is the creation of the mind, that means that the light was placed in the mind. That means life is lived from it's a light that governs this mind. This is the greater light that governs the day. But if this light ain't on, if you don't got it, right, and it ain't on, then you have a lesser light that governs you. It's called the ego. Because, this is the shadow self, but in your ego, you might think this is the real self and attribute life based around how everything revolve and move around it. And so for you, what would be symbolic of for you is the sun in the sky, which is the only light that you would have. Because that's the only light that you would know, because you don't acknowledge any other type of light. To you, spiritual light, the spiritual realm don't exist. Only what you can see, touch, taste, smell, or hear is what you call real. So according to the esoteric occult knowledge of this book, you are considered to be in the dark, unaware of the real light that governs the light of the mind. You're not aware of it. You don't acknowledge it. You think those that believe in things more than what we can see, touch, taste, smell, or hear are crazy, or you confuse it with religion. No, I'm not talking about any religion. I'm speaking on awareness of my family tree and awareness of how my family tree operates. And I'm aware that how my family tree operates has been made into a religion. I'm aware of it. And I don't let religious people get in the way of transmitting this information, because I know they're going to be opposed to it. Matter of fact, I didn't issue my trigger warning. I got right into it. Trigger warning to you Christians. I know you're going to be triggered by this information if you are a Christian. And you're going to be tempted to get in my comment section and wish upon me eternal hellfire and damnation for not agreeing with you. I'm just going to make you aware that every time you do that, you reveal the spirit and nature that you truly operate in. Because I just transmit information. I don't condemn anyone for not accepting it or not believing or telling them they're going to be punished eternally, or that they're ignorant because they disagree with what I'm sharing. Don't nobody bring the devil with them but Christians when they do that. You bring the hell with you, and you bring the devil with you with your judgments instead of just going on about your business. So yeah, let me not get off track. So this firmament that I'm talking about, that's ruling over the day, that don't never set, right? Let me finish that. He made the stars also. The reason it says he made the stars also is to make you aware that the stars that you see in the sky was the last thing that was done on the fourth day, one, and that the beginning of things that was done on the fourth day got nothing to do with what you can see with your physical eyes, because it's not redundant. Is not the sun a star? So the greater light is not the sun, because God is not redundant. It ain't like God don't know that the sun is a star. If the greater light was the sun, it wouldn't say he made the stars also, because the sun is a star. So we wasn't ever talking about sun and moon in greater or lesser light. There's just people revealing their ignorance and that they had no business teaching. That's all that they were doing when they stood in front of you and said that the firmament was the sky and the greater light was the sun and the lesser light was, they was just revealing to you. They had no business in front of you trying to teach you nothing. That's all that was. So here's the truth of the matter. The greater light that rules the day is what you religious folk call Christ. We're dealing with being, if this is the mind, we're dealing with a type of consciousness that's placed inside of the mind, a type of awareness of the kingdom of heaven, awareness of where you come from, awareness of your mission, your goal, what you're here to do, and your immortality. It's a type of ain't consciousness, Christ consciousness, the awareness of your anointing. Christ mean anointed or anointed one. I know they've personified it for you and taught you a character, but even the character taught about a kingdom and how it functioned. Do you have more information and understanding about a character than you do about a kingdom? Then that means you ain't been taught. Because it was never to teach you about any character. It was always to make you aware of your position and role in the kingdom, in your Father's house. Do you not know? Have you not been made aware? Because we talking about worship. Highest form of worship is imitation. So we going to imitate this kingdom. That means family first. If you're going to put the kingdom first, that means you got to put the family first. Let's talk about how we are made. What make us family? These lights in our firmament, they shine bright in its own and don't never set. Everybody ain't got it. Some people, it's just a division there, but ain't no lights on. Let's keep going. And to rule, hold on. And he made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. This by this way, we can be the light of the world, because we got these lights housed in our mind. And we got division. We know the difference between our higher self and our ego self. And we walk according to the light of the higher self, because we know that the ego self, the lesser self, is set. It must be buried and resurrected. This skin that we got, this not the real us. This is the part we put on and take off. And we know that the one that governed that part of us, we know who he is, and he going to present himself as an angel of light. But what he really is, what he's the governor of, is darkness and death. We know the difference between the lesser light and the greater light, because the greater light is what show up on the inside. The greater light is what show up and make us humble and submit to the one that put the light in the firmament, that produced the light. Or we are in this lesser light, this ego self. And if we in this lesser light, then that means we under the sun and the rules and regulation of the sun. Now the sun is symbolic of your ego. The sun is symbolic of your false self. The constellations are symbolic of your light body, which the sun is housed in. The first of the houses, the first of the light bodies that appears is Aries. This is the Aries' first appearance. When a ram first appears, what is it, y'all? It's a lamb. The sun is housed in Aries. But you won't see Aries until night, till it's dark. Then you come into the understanding that it ain't just one sun, one star in the sky. It's countless. I can't count how many of those things that we call the sun is in the sky. This is showing you something. This is why the darkness ain't called bad, because what's in the dark is also the unknown, the ineffable, the inexpressible is in the dark. So you come into the awareness of the inexpressible and the unknown when you come into realization that the sun is housed in Aries, and it humble you because you realize you don't know what you thought you knew. You thought you knew, you thought that you understood, but then when you came outside at night and you quit being scared of the dark, again, let me repeat that because I'm speaking in a way, I'm speaking very plain, but it might be hard for you to understand. When you reach that point where you quit being scared of the dark, then you were able to step outside and realize it was a whole lot more to things than that sun that was always in your face. But you have to be willing to face the darkness, to see it. Until then, you just gonna walk by the light of the sun, and when it set, you gonna set. When it come out, you gonna come out. You never gonna walk out in the darkness because you know it's lions and tigers and bears out there hunting in the dark. You got to have courage to face that part of the day. But just remember, what God called day don't got nothing to do with no sun. At all. So, yeah, man. We talking about the creation of the mind now. Hold on. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. I've been speaking on this my last few lives, that God divided the light from the darkness in Genesis chapter 1, verse 4. And then in Genesis chapter 1, verse 12, and to rule over the day and the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. Not a firmament is good. Not a firmament is good. Because I got my baby boy set up in this little crew. Yeah, I got them set up in the mind of my creation. Now it's good. Is y'all following this? Why I wanted to take my time and break this down to you so you can understand that the creation narrative contains more information than you've been taught, and it's to humble us to quit thinking we know shit. You don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. And this is the beginning of wisdom. And if you going through this thing, and I'm not coming to you like I know everything, I'm coming to you in full confidence that I know what I know. What I know, I do know, and I'm sharing with you, and I know it by experience. Even to the point of death, burial, and resurrection. We're talking about immortality. This ain't my first trip, and I'm aware of it. But you don't got to accept their testimony. Eventually, when you do, it's going to bring you into the eternal love of the Most High. You're going to accept this teaching of death, burial, and resurrection, not nobody else's. It's a record of the first to do it. It's a record of the plan that was put into place to demonstrate the eternal love of the Most High, that we would not taste death. We just keep going, whether parallel, wearing bodies out, getting new bodies, always lessons, always room to grow. They can't break the firmament, because all you're going to see is your grave. Ian is up. This may be hard to hear. All you're going to see is a grave. Maybe a bunch of them. All the way back to ancient ruins and sarcophagi that you've been buried in. And these Akashic records opening up, and you coming to accept the love of God and the immortality that was given is real. So let me give you the proof, because y'all, I'm just giving you good news. I'm just giving you good news. This ain't good news. Well, I'm going to give you some more good news. I'm going to give you good news till you're tired of hearing good news about your real immortality. Why you think your enemy works so hard for you not to wake up to what you really are and where you really come from? What do you think they're afraid of? You waking up to this shit don't matter, and I don't got to, I'm like, watch this here. Watch this here. Genesis chapter 1. It's all in the first 33 chapters. Let me reveal the Masonic hand. They hate this. First 33 chapters of this book contain your entire message. We dealing with degrees here. You got some that's dealing with time, and they work according to the rising and setting of the sun. You reach this level, you work to completion. You work by degrees. 360, full circle. When you realize you done came full circle, that circuit is complete. It's time for you to start another one. But that's based on the work put in, not the clock. Follow me if you can. First 33 verses in this book contain the entire message. That's just to reveal the hidden hand at work. You got some Masons at work, but they fake, phony, false Masons. Let me show you what's waking up now. The true Masons are here again. Not the fake, phony, false Masons, they hid information and symbolize it and put it inside the symbols. They say if those that really know it don't say it, and those that say it don't really know it. That's just because they're ignorant, blind, and lame. See, the truth is it's going to remain a secret even when I say it, because if you don't have ears to hear, it's not going to make sense to you anyway. You won't be able to put it together. That's why it's called the ineffable, inexpressible. It's a mystery because those who can't get it won't get it no matter what. And then on a deeper level, when we enter into the darkness, it's my story. It's a mystery because only you can experience it. Can't be said. I can't say it to you. I can't describe it to you. I can and talk about it till I'm blue in the face. But until you experience it for yourself, there's nothing I can say to you that's going to give you an understanding of what I'm talking about when it comes to immortality and the death, burial, and resurrection. It's nothing I can say. That's why it's a mystery. I know you did what I'm saying. It's the difference between me trying to hide something from you and put it in symbols and hoping you don't get it, and me knowing if you not vibing right, I can put it in your face all day, every day, wave it at you, you still won't see it. So I'm not running around here trying to hide and give secret handshakes and hugs and secret messages. Nah, we not. Quit playing with the truth. You know what I'm saying? No, man, we well beyond all of that. But what I was trying to show you is verse 29 on this thing. Just proof about, I'm just trying to give you the good news of your immortality, that you don't never really die. And the proof of it that you hear now, even though you've died many, many times before, but by grace and mercy, you don't remember. You ain't seen your grave. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed. Hold on. Let's go to verse 28. And God blessed them. I say the difference between God and the Lord God that the Christians worship is you have to do something and obey their God in order to receive his blessings. his commandments, do good and do the ceremony and this, that, and the third. And then you get the blessings from their God. But see, this God right here, who I know for a fact is different from the God that they worship, God blessed them right after he created them. God blessed them, male and female, he created them, and God blessed them. So the blessings came first. For anything, so before anybody had to do anything, any commandment, any instruction, the blessing was already upon us. To receive the blessing, to receive the instruction. It's a blessing to receive the instruction. We do things in order in the kingdom. So the blessing came first. So here it is. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, and we talking to them now. How many is them? We don't know. Ain't that beautiful? How many is them? We don't know. I know Christians, y'all got y'all version of creation where it's just one man by himself chasing animals and having surgery on him. That's the people that y'all say y'all come from. I'm talking about who I come from, God and the kingdom and them. And I don't know how many of them is, but this is where I trace my lineage right here from them. It's the difference, man. I ain't taught y'all this book. I know. Bless your heart. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, they go to them again, just to make sure you know we ain't talking about no one person. And we dealing with male and female. I need y'all to understand the way the kingdom is set up, because you got another kingdom set up that's called the world. See, this is the heavens and the earth. I'm sorry. Let me make sure y'all might not understand the difference. Y'all might be dealing with the God of the world. This is the creation of the heavens and the earth, in the order of things in the heavens and the earth. Because see, the world work according to a different order, and the world trace themselves back through a different lineage. Yeah, man. So we just make sure y'all understand the difference. You may be having your understanding might be worldly, is what I'm trying to get you to understand. This is kingdom understanding. Yeah. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish the earth. I told you them first days of creation couldn't be measured by what we call time. There wasn't no sun. And then on the third day, you got vegetation growing and dry land appearing, and it still ain't no sun. So you still can't measure that day. And the war in heaven took place before man manifested physically on the earth. That's what's going on in this fourth day, in these divisions, in these stars. Oh, man, y'all don't make me have to. So it's a lot went on is what I'm trying to get you to say. That's why I say to replenish. Because we didn't step into time until the fourth day of creation, y'all. This fourth day of creation, when we talking about the lights being put into the firmament and the lamb that's sent to take away the sins of the world, this is the fourth day of creation. This is when we step inside of time. This your grace period, and mine too, and ours. The bodies into the darkness. This ain't alive. This is the darkness. This is the shadow part. The life is in here. From the kingdom. It's lived from within the kingdom. Come on, y'all. So this is the live part of you then. This is what you're saying. So if you don't know these things, how can you call yourself a teacher? Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed. And the herb is good. I had to take a break and cut back because I don't want to use it as an escape, but more as a tool. But still, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed to you, it will be for fruit. Hold on, y'all. Bear with my reading. Excuse me. I know you know this already. And to every beast of the earth, and every fowl of the air, and everything that creep upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. I'm a vegetarian to this day, and I bear witness to the fact I became a vegetarian 12 years ago, around this time. I started fasting on what you call Thanksgiving 12 years ago, around this time. Not against Thanksgiving, before the commemoration of the indigenous people that were unalive. Because I doubt the indigenous people celebrate the day that they came into contact with the pilgrims. But into every fowl of the air and everything that creeps upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. Yeah, I rarely get sick. Yeah, man, good energy, good stamina, and all that good stuff. So I bear witness to the fact. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Nowhere in there is the concept of death mentioned. I read all that just to make sure. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which God had created and made. Period. Nowhere in that does God mention death to his creation. Only thing that you can get close to the concept of death is rest, which is completion, which is why you get the number 7, because the number 7 mean completion. And when he say rest, it means what he had been working on was complete. There's nothing else to do. I know the Christians say that even though it say God was finished with all his work, that he really wasn't finished with all his work, and he had to come back and change some stuff, but they just lying on God and have no understanding of what's in this book at all whatsoever. But the truth is, when God is finished with all the work, it really mean that. And if you think it don't, I challenge you to tell me in the comment section, well, what is it left for God to do? Since you know better. We don't have reading comprehension skill. We don't know what finish and complete with all the work mean. So you get in this comment section and you tell us what it was left for God to do. Since you know better. And if you can't, if you wondering from where do I get the authority to sit up in front of people and talk like I know what I'm talking about. You see these gray hairs on my chin? Read your book. See what your book say about it. Know where I got them from. This silver hanging off my chin. Know where I got it from. So yeah, man, the creation of your mind was before the creation of your brain. The creation of your brain was before the creation of your body. You went from inside of your father to inside of your mother, and you were brought forth from inside of your mother. This is the way things go. This is what the book is describing you from the beginning, and you need to understand what applies to you and what don't. Because, okay, be fruitful. Closest thing to death that you can come away with other than the rest, being complete, is being fruitful. In the process of being fruitful, you must first mature. So we go through periods of rest. That's your death, burial, and resurrection being symbolized in front of you. Before there was a such thing as a book, it was put in front of you of your immortality by the seasons in the trees, fruit trees having to reach maturity before they bear their fruit. The observation of this is where the book come from. I'm talking about, let's go ancient, y'all, before the books. When great grandmother was buried and mourned. And then when great grandmother was buried and mourned, one of her sons, one of her youngest sons that was able to spend a lot of time with her and learn of her ways and her wisdom, see one of the grandnieces have a baby that looking at a whole lot similar to great grandmother. He's able to connect the two. See, everybody else, they might have gone and passed on during her lifetime, but he's still alive to see his great grandmother and his grandniece. The way her voice sounded, the timbre of her voice and her ways and the way she carried herself, even her eyes, like, even if the child is not even aware of the DNA that's activated in her, he knows because he remember her. These type of observations were orally passed down, and we looked at the trees and we understood, oh, we come back. We come back through our family. That's why family is so important. And maintaining the unity and strength of the family is so important. Because if we want to come back, when we come back, that's how we come back. Through the family line. DNA get activated from way, ain't nothing new under the sun, y'all. I know I say this a lot, but it's the truth. I know religion teach you to be scared of these type of things. That this is vain in conversation and to just focus on Jesus. But they don't want you thinking about none of this stuff. But just as what Jesus taught, he taught you, hey man, if you can accept it, John was Elijah, return. And if you can accept it, Elijah was Enoch, return. Because you don't die. So what do? We fall. We enter periods of rest. We fall. Look outside. The trees and the grass are entering periods of rest. And what are the zodiac signs that are associated with the season? And by way of understanding these zodiac signs, you may be able to understand the signs in the book. What's happening, family? So you are fearfully and wonderfully made, stitched from the inside out, from the mind first. So the purpose of this mind and why it's called heaven, and heaven being a state of mind, right? Let's get to it. Let's keep busting it down. Fear and doubt and greed and lust and hate want to be back in the king's dome. They want to be on your mind. They want to be in you. They want to take up residence in your mind. So what keep fear out? The light of courage. Because fear is the absence of courage. So if you got the courage light on, fear can't get into the king's dome. Courage make your mind strong. Give you a firm mint. And if you keep the lights on in the firmament, you in the state of heaven. You separated from doubt, hate, greed, and entertaining these thoughts, letting them in because you're too busy loving, giving, being diligent, self-controlling, discerning, walking on it, because in between the points of light is darkness. So I'm just discerning in between what's selfish and egotistical and what's food for the soul, and walking on what's good for the soul and leaving behind what's in the dark. The battlefield is here in the mind, in the kingdom, for your mind. So we got to crawl before we walk, because we lose battles. And that's just letting us know in what areas we not strong enough in the spirit yet till we can walk in the spirit on that level. We still have some crawling to do before we can stand completely in the spirit. Whatever it is we wrestling with. The good news is you have eternity. But there are consequences for things. For entertaining certain spirits. It's consequences that come along with them. So we got to learn how to manipulate and use our energy. And our energy is better put to use for things. Being positive with the energy than being negative, being against something. A lot of the protests that we see, a lot of energy is being spent being against something. And it should be for freedom. We agitating for the awareness of freedom. We want freedom. We're agitating for the awareness of the need for peace. I'm not agitating or protesting against these people or that religion. I'm not on this live speaking against this or that. I'm speaking for truth. I'm agitating for the truth. That way you can penetrate minds and hearts. I'm going to go back to the original example. It's not a protest when people were saying defund the police. That let me know that there was a hidden hand at play, and they were steering the protesters and the people wrong because they didn't know how to manipulate energy. They were steering the people in a way that would make them ineffective. Instead of being defund the police, the protests and the energy should have been refund the community. Because the issue was there are community outreach programs that need funding. There are community outreach programs that need funding. Instead of policing the problem, let's keep the people from ever becoming criminals. Let's reach them through these community outreach programs that need funding. We're not talking about defund the police. We're talking refund these outreach programs, these conflict resolution programs, these entrepreneurship programs that are independently funded that nobody is aware of. We are agitating for the awareness of their existence and their need for financial assistance. That way we always about what we are for. And that's all you hear come out of our mouth is what we are for. I'm not going to protest the lack of viable, healthy food options in my neighborhood. What I'm going to use my energy to do is implement community gardens. We're going to build community gardens and we're going to come together and we're not going to spend our time agitating against the lack of grocery stores. We're going to implement building our own gardens. That's what we're going to do with our energy. Because it's more effective. It can literally feed more people. Agitating against no food, no valuable food options in the neighborhood, that's cool. But it doesn't produce a different valuable food option. But putting that energy toward building community gardens addresses both. The awareness that we are doing this because y'all don't give us no healthy food options in my neighborhood. And we are addressing now people have healthier food options in my neighborhood without having to wait on you to build nothing. Without having to wait on you to approve nothing. Because we know how to use our energy. And I'm not going to waste it on a distraction. On speaking out against something so you can get a piece of my mind. No, I'm solution oriented. I move toward a solution. I see an enemy. I don't want to give the enemy a piece of my mind. I want to get rid of him. But I got to get rid of him in love, in light. I got to open his eyes to something. I got to hold up a mirror in front of him. I got to let my light shine so when I hold up the mirror in front of him, he can see himself. Put a mirror right here. You look at yourself. Here you go. And I just got rid of an enemy. I mean, cut his head off. It's gone. I ain't got to worry about him no more ever coming for me again. Because he got to look at himself. So you got to know how to use your energy. And when you see people coming out trying to get you to be against this and that, and they passionate and good, understand it's a flip side to that, that if they put that passion for something, something would actually be done and built. Something tangible. Not just making it, you want people to think expressing their displeasure about something is doing something about it, and it's not. You just in your ego. You just expressing how you feel and giving them a piece of your mind. It produces nothing. Learn how to put your energy toward something positive. Okay, if racism is the issue, it ain't about me giving them a piece of my mind. It's about eliminating the problem. I need to put my energy towards eliminating the problem. That means educating my people, making my people aware of the circumstances and the existence of it and what we do to deal with it, how we unify, how we build for each other. And when we deal with these things, don't get distracted by that. All we can do with them is just hold up a mirror. Here you go. Look at yourself. When you look at yourself, you see yourself. Yeah, I don't have to deal with none of the, cause I'm building over here. Whether I'm building mentally with my people when we do these sessions, and I'm talking about energy manipulation, the firmament and energy manipulation. Catch it. So we can stop running around here expending our energy, passionate, and ain't nothing wrong with the passion, but we not producing nothing. We just virtue signaling. So yeah, man, that's why you will see me, we, instead of protesting the lack of representation politically in my area, instead of complaining about the lack of ever being a black mayor in the city of Fort Worth, I put the energy to canvassing in neighborhoods for a candidate that would have been the first black mayor. Instead of complaining about it not being one, I put my energy into producing one. And they asked me to go into neighborhoods that, people don't really want to go into. I was able to go into those neighborhoods without fear and knock on the door and educate people. Hey, man, you may not participate in your local political process, but this time we got one of our own seeking a position of power and influence. So we can quit complaining about our lack of representation, and we can take an action towards putting somebody in place that's going to represent us locally. They had to have a runoff. We didn't get enough. You know how they played the game they had to do a runoff and a revote, and a lot of people didn't know to come out and revote in the runoff because, they going to play but we just showing you how a little bit, it got so bad. They started pulling me over, man. Certain areas I can't go during election time because they know what I'm there to do. It ain't too many of us out here that's out in the ground putting it down. It's a lot of people out here hollering so they get to pick on us because they get to pull us over and take us to jail. And Trump, man, they tried to hit me with trumped up charges and everything. When I was canvassing in these neighborhoods and building community gardens. And I'm not doing this to tell you about me. I'm showing you how to put our energy to use instead of complaining and bitching and boo-hooing, what you can do to implement things instead of wanting to give people a piece of your mind. Cause I'm looking at it. I'm watching it. So I'm seeing it play out, and I'm like, okay, the people is willing and the energy is there. So let's start building. Community gardens is a beautiful thing. We can start with our own and then go from building our own gardens to encouraging people, friends and family, helping them build theirs. I'm talking about squash, okra, tomatoes, onions, potatoes, watermelon, cantaloupe, bell peppers. You know, you got a community of people and we exchanging food like this here among each other. The elementary schools, because the kids is learning how to plant and when to plant. We through complaining and bitching and boo-hooing and waiting on you to build something for us. We'll do it. But the thing about that is that don't get a lot of recognition. That doing stuff like that get a target put on your back. When you go to doing stuff like that, you get targeted. So you got to be willing to get out there and do that type of work. And that's the type of recognition you're going to get is the target put on your back. So be prepared. Out here digging these holes in this manure, getting this fertilizer, we gonna be funky. Building community gardens don't pay. Nobody's gonna pay you to do it. Nobody's gonna celebrate you for doing it. But people are gonna eat season after season after season from the sweat of your brow and the work that you put in this labor of love. This is the difference between the talkers and the doers. The ones that won't look at me, listen to me, and the ones that's out there humbly hand. I'm talking about up to the elbows in manure, literally building for other communities. And you never hear about them, and they don't get funding. And then when it's time to agitate for the awareness of it, we get one of these hidden hand people and they say, you know what? You should call it defund the police. Somebody should have been around and say, you get your stupid ass out of here and shut up. We trying to refund the community. All of our energy is positive. Every time we move as a unit, we move for something, towards something. We never move against something. That's how I know you ain't really down with the thing, because you talking about going against something. And you having to scream out the very things we are tired of. Police brutality. I don't want to keep saying their name. I don't want to keep mentioning them. All I want to talk about is these community garden programs. These community outreach. Let's refurbish these buildings that's just sitting up, and let's put us some garment producing. Let's get us some machines that make t-shirts and jackets and tennis shoes, and put some people to work manufacturing clothes and jackets. Got the space for it, and the operation of these machines gonna produce the product that's gonna bring the money for it to pay the rent. And it's going to teach people skill, and it's going to put us in a position to feed and clothe ourselves. Because not only do we have community gardens, we invested in the type of machinery that can produce things. Since you're going to put in your industrialized, your industrial sections in the middle of my community anyway. That's what I'm on, y'all. And yeah, I appreciate you being up in here, Beamer. But this is how we use our energy. I ain't with the complaining and the bitching and boo-hooing. We do stuff and we move. That's all. Yeah. I gotta give it to him. We use our energy backwards, y'all. We really do. We be passionate and we be fired up and we be ready to speak out against. All I'm saying is find something to be for. With all the same passion, you don't got to take no passion off or no energy off. Just instead of being against a certain thing, be for. Find the thing in it that you can be for and watch how much further things go. Know this though, when you make it known that you understand how to manipulate energy on this level, opposition and provocation will come. Because there's others that benefit off negative energy and keeping the people reacting to negativity. It's people that benefit off of this. When they see you working the mojo and switching it and coming with the positive for something, they coming, Jack. So you got to be ready for them. That's going to come and ask you under who authority and, hey, validate yourself to me, and cross their arm and wait on you to jump through the hoops. And when you refuse to do it for them, they going to hate you then. You're not going to validate yourself to me? Nope. Not even a little bit. We going to keep right on building and right on educating and right on uplifting. And we're going to demonstrate to you exactly who and what you are when we move right on past you. Get behind me. This train ain't slowing down. Get on behind me. Yeah, bye. That's where we at with it, man. Yeah, it's so in positive energy feel better. Being against something, it feel good to the ego and it feel good emotionally, personally. But being for something benefit others in the way that you can see, and it feel good to see others benefited from your efforts and your energy and your passion. It's a different feeling. And it really does go further. So try it. If you passionate about a cause and you've been wanting to agitate or you've been wanting to protest, stop using that word protest. Use the word agitate. Use the word rally. This is a rally for whatever. This ain't a protest against whoever. No. This is a rally for, and then be about whatever it is you about all the time in positivity. Those of us that seeking spiritual growth and we want to walk in the spirit, and we done set spiritual goals for ourselves and we fail. That's just to humble us and let us know we have to crawl before we can walk. It's just to let us know, baby, you're not strong enough to just walk in the spirit on that right there. You got to crawl a little bit before you strong enough to stand on that. But just like the baby, take the example from the baby. The baby don't complain and bitch and boo-hoo and why me. And the baby just crawl. And when he just get him some support and climb on up until he can stand up on his own. But the baby ain't doing no tripping. He not taking his lack of physical strength to be able to stand on his own as a punishment. Nah. He happy to be able to crawl and know that I'm getting stronger though. I might not be there yet, but in a minute I'm be running with y'all. Take the example from the baby. When you fall, get back up. It's all right. It's all right. That's what you're here to learn how to do. How to fall. You already know how to walk. You just not strong enough, baby. You're here to learn how to fall. It's okay. It's why we've set it up like this. It's why you got this skin around you. It's why you got this concept called death, burial, and resurrection that you need to accept. So you quit tripping. Every time you fall. Oh, I done fell. Oh, Lord. You fall there as part of the process. It's all right. Get on back up. Yeah. Quit tripping, man. It's all right. You might fall again. You might swear up and down. I got it. That baby swear he got it. He can do it. I got it. He done tried to take out. Boom. You know what I'm saying? It's just for that baby to learn. No, you don't got it yet, baby. Slow down. Man, I like kicking it with the fam, man. It is, yeah, it's to humble us. It's to teach us that, listen, I'm not a religious person, but I think of my concept of God is mother and father and mother, my parents. And with that understanding, I love my God. With that understanding, I love my family. And then when I say God, which means the powers, and I think of immortality in this life and the things I've been able to peek at, I'm in awe. There is no God but God. There is none wiser. The wisdom and the awesomeness and the strength of God is ineffable and inexpressible and cannot be uttered. I submit totally and completely to the will of what I know to be the will or the light of my creator or my natural DNA and inclinations that this book describes as light. Like I'm learning to submit and trust it completely because it has brought me through multiple lives and lifetimes and ain't let me down. I'm no worse for wear. So it's awesome to know I'm a part of this lineage. This is part of my family tree. And to put my family first in the ways of my family first. I get it. Kingdom first. I get it. That's why I don't come out against when you hear me expose the falsehood of religion. It's just what I'm doing, revealing the truth. I'm for the truth. I'm putting forth and promoting the truth. And some people may take it as being against them or their religion. And I understand and am aware of that. And I have to do what I do in spite of it. And just remind myself that the people in my comment section ought to remind me of my arrogance. Remind me of my conceit. Remind me of the dogmatic approach at times that I may have. To remind me that I'm here to learn as well. And it's a reciprocal thing when I go in these comment sections. So I don't get mad when people come in here and admonish me and be like, man, you feeling yourself too much. I'll be like, right on, you sure right. Yeah, God, I don't believe you have to have I don't knock nobody religion, because wherever you are, this exactly where you need to be to come into the understanding that you need at that time. I always put it like this: God know what He doing. If so, I don't have the burden of trying to convert people or convince people. What I'm doing is sharing some of the revelations and the downloads that I've gotten. Being a witness to the awesome goodness in this thing we call life, testifying to you of the death, burial, and resurrection, and by how the resurrection came through the light of what we call Christ, or that first light that's created, the soul. This is the soul. That's the part that's eternal. Like we done lived many lives. We've learned many lessons, but we're not always aware of it. But those of us that have been given the taste and been able to peek behind the veil and seen, come back and say, hey, yeah, y'all, we done lived before. This ain't new. We are eternal. God is really great. And y'all, it's just the beginning of the ride. To some, this is good news. To some, this is frightening. But that's because they gave us fear by way of religion. And Israel is a state of being. What is hell? It's a state of confusion and ignorance and darkness. You don't understand that you are immortal, therefore you fear death. You don't understand that you are immortal, therefore you fear death. Something that your father never spoke to you about or gave to you. So the religion that you're dealing with, one of the things that you're going to have to come into terms with is this fear of death. And it's time to stop fearing the dark and understanding it. What is it? It's life in this body with no awareness of the spirit. You dead. That's what it is. When you understand what life is. But when you don't, when you interpret life through the body, the concept of not having a body, this body no longer functioning, frightens you. And your enemy knew it. And he wrapped you up in that fear. And in that state, you can't serve God. You can't imitate God because there is no fear in the light. There's courage in the light. It's not death that you fear. If you're going to fear something, then you fear the one that got the power over death. If you just got to have you some fear, it's not death that you should fear. But in the meantime, in between time, that's what you've been given, a whole lot of fear. And I'm not even going to say just the fear of punishment. When they tell you to fear God and you don't understand what it means, when you get a glimpse behind the veil, you're going to understand what that means. You're going to understand what it means to want to serve the kingdom and do your part and not disappoint because of how great you don't want to appear ungrateful. And sometimes we get reminded of our selfishness and how ungrateful we've been. It's that type of the fear of disappointing, the fear of us not holding up, trying, giving forth our full effort to show how appreciative we are of this thing called life, which is eternal. How can you appreciate eternal life? How loving and how patient will you be once you realize that you got this gift? You feel what I'm saying? Like for real. And then when we look at our actions and our words sometime and we realize we not acting like we appreciate nothing. The fact that we get to grow and learn through eternity, like, do you understand what we've been given? And we're going to go through it in fear? That's hell. To be in fear throughout all eternity. Boy, that's hell. But think about it as if we're going through this thing with fearlessness, with courage, and the awareness of our immortality in the law of love. And everything, and I'm talking about in appreciation and gratitude because we came into this world with air, water, trees that bear fruit and herbs, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, uncles, cousins. This is what we came into. We didn't earn none of it. I'm talking, this is what we already had when we got here. Before we worked and did anything, before we spoke, we already had all this stuff. Eternal life. Man, we was blessed already. This is what we had when we came. And then in our ego, we said we had to work for this stuff. No, you don't work for it. You work because of it, to maintain it, because you appreciate what you have. That's why you work. In appreciation of it. You appreciate mother and father, so you serve mother and father. Let me get the dough for you, mama. Let me carry the bags for you, mama. I'll clean it up for you, mama, because I realize everything mama done did for me. I'm happy to do it. Here, Dad, I got that for you, Dad. Let me do this for you, Dad. Because I appreciate everything my dad done did for me all the way down to his DNA. I appreciate I was born with uncles and cousins and sisters and brothers. So, yeah, man, Well, how can I be of service? What, I got a community too? Oh man, well, how can I be? I'm so thankful. I got a what? I got a whole nation. Oh man, just more and it just get wider. The ripple effect. The same way the selfishness has a ripple effect too. The ingratitude has a ripple effect too. The arrogance, it ripples. You like the dashiki? Already. Love your soul, Corey. Your perspective is spot on. Love you too. That's what it's about. That's the new mission. Loving. And recognizing that we ain't always appreciative of this life we have. So yeah, I'm gonna end this. I ain't gonna just keep dwelling on for long. Y'all know I like to get on, drop it, and get out the way. For educational purposes, today is called Tuesday and it's named after the planet Mars. But that's for those that's walking with no light. Those that's in the light, today is today. It's your day. It's the day. It's the present. It's the gift. So let's be thankful for this gift. I'm finna get up out of here, y'all. Peace and love.